Police is responsible for the death of an Edina native whose promising life was just beginning to hit its stride.
Paul Farris, just 23, a musician and recent college graduate, when he was struck and killed in Boston early on Sunday. Police were attempting to pull over a man when he sped right through some narrow streets of a residential area, hit a cab that Farris and his girlfriend were riding in. KARE 11's Juliana Olson has spoken now with a teacher who knew that musician and the man.
Paul Farris had nothing to do with the high-speed chase that took his life.
They were just coming back to get their car. Kind of a bad timing. We just found out this morning.
He was inside this white cab early Sunday, coming home from a night out with friends, when an SUV being chased by police slammed into the cab. It all happened near Boston, but Farris grew up in Edina, where his family and friends are in mourning.
Just shock. It's a tough loss. He was a great kid. He was very fun to be around, and anybody who knew him just knew that about him.
Anybody who knew him knew Farris loved music, and even after graduating from Tufts University, he stayed close with his high school choir director.
Paul's voice just had a real distinct character. It was kind of warm, but it had a nice edge to it.
Farris fronted a popular Boston rock band, The Mark, though eventually he planned to study law. The band's MySpace page says The Mark is now on indefinite hiatus. Their 23-year-old lead singer taken in a way no one could have predicted.
He was just a wonderful kid, and it's tragic that such a great person, his life was cut so short. Going to miss the visits when he'd come back.
In Edina, Juliana Olson, KARE 11 News.
Well, Farris's girlfriend and the cab driver were injured in that crash, but they are expected to recover. And Massachusetts police have charged 29-year-old Javier Morales with motor vehicle homicide.
Two separate shootings just minutes.
An innocent bystander killed during a police chase.
I'm completely numb. This doesn't happen to me.
His girlfriend now fighting for her life.
Thanks for joining us for more news at 10. I'm Leah McLean.
I'm Cindy Bricado here tonight for John Mason. It's a phone call no mother ever wants to receive. Her 23-year-old son killed in a sudden crash. Paul Farris of Edina died last night when an SUV being chased by police near Boston slammed into his car. Steve Shaw spoke with family members tonight. He's in our newsroom now with more. Steve.
Paul Farris's mother, Roberta, freely admits she's in shock, and what happened in Boston really hasn't hit her yet. And despite her family's grief tonight, she wants everyone who knew her son to celebrate his life.
We just saw him 3 weeks ago, and he was so unbelievably happy and crazy in love and had everything in the world going for him.
Paul Farris graduated from Edina High in 2002. A year ago, he graduated magna cum laude from Boston's prestigious Tufts University, double majoring in history and political science.
He liked to learn.
Farris was also the front man of a popular Boston-based rock band called The Mark. The band toured venues all across the East Coast.
They had a following. They had kids from Tufts that loved them.
Early Sunday morning in Boston, Farris and his girlfriend, Caitlin Hoyt, were in a cab after a night out with friends when an SUV plowed into that cab. The driver of the SUV was being chased by police. Paul died in the crash. Caitlin Hoyt's in critical condition, and the cab driver was also seriously hurt.
We don't know a lot of specifics about the accident.
Paul's father, John, rushed to Boston to find out facts and make arrangements. Roberta is left to remember what she thought when she saw her son for the last time 3 weeks ago.
I just couldn't believe that my baby was a young man and was just something.
Paul Farris had recently scored well on the law school aptitude test and was preparing to enroll in law school, probably in Boston, probably in the fall. Steve Shaw, 5 Eyewitness News.
Now, where this crash happened, residents are outraged, many questioning why police would pursue someone through residential side streets just for speeding. The city has a policy to avoid these chases. We don't have comment yet from the Massachusetts State Patrol, which started the chase. Leah?
A special honor for a soldier
Edina native, who was the singer in a rock band, was killed over the weekend in Boston. 23-year-old Paul Farris was taking a cab home when it was hit by an SUV. Farris was a singer in the band The Mark. Police say the driver of the SUV was driving on a suspended license, speeding and driving without his headlights on. Suburb of Boston. The 29-year-old was arrested at the scene in Somerville and has been charged with motor vehicle homicide. Farris's girlfriend, Caitlin Hoyt, and the cab driver were both seriously injured. Hoyt is in critical but stable condition.
Obviously, the people that were taking a cab were trying to do the right thing, and, you know, they got the worst of it.
Farris's parents now live in Madison, Wisconsin. They are in Boston for a memorial service tonight at 6. Farris also had a younger brother, Scott. And over